Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo, where we focus on the competitive side of the rimfire world. We are back out here in CRGC to shoot the November 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad you found the channel. If you're a previous viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you guys very much. It really helps out a lot. And welcome back. We've got some targets set up. The skies are unfortunately super gray today, so we're going to try to wrap things up relatively quickly. Let's get out there and shoot this thing and see how this goes.
All right, guys, first up for this Thanksgiving-themed Course of Fire, we have turkey and stuffing. We have a 3/4 on a KYL rack at 52, a 1-inch at 64, and a 2 and 2.5 at 100 on separate hangers. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the star signal, we'll take a prone position and engage the targets with one shot each from near to far, and then from far to near. The far target will only be the left target from this position. You'll then move to any position on the top half of the tank trap and engage the targets with one shot each from near to far, and then from far to near. The far target will only be the right target from that position. Restrictions: no dialing elevation. Only magnification and parallax may be adjusted.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Got a little bit of wind out there.
Alright guys, so starting this month off, we have a stage that is relatively simple. For my gear on this stage, we'll be using the Harris SPRM bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter, the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro, and of course, the Armageddon Gear Schmedium in heavy fill. So for my strategy on this one, I wanted to kind of blow through these first 6 targets quickly. And I felt like what that was going to do was buy me time to build the stability that I needed from the tank trap. I see absolutely no reason why you should take any other position on the trap except for the center. Nothing else makes sense. The center is going to give you the most stability because it often allows you to connect your elbow to your knee into a nice stable kneeling position. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go to a kneeling position, anchor that elbow to my knee, reach up and try to make some contact with my support hand on that stock and bag and break these last 6 shots. This one was just kind of a simple stage. There wasn't a whole lot going on. The shooting sequence wasn't very complex. The positions weren't very complex. This is a nice, easy way to start a relatively difficult Course of Fire. Alright guys, let's get on to the next one.
Clean.
19 seconds left.
Next up is fall break. We have a 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch on a KYL rack at 35 yards and a 1.5 at 75 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the star signal, we'll take a prone position and engage the targets in the following order: small KYL, large KYL, then the far target. You will repeat this sequence until 12 rounds have been fired or time expires. Note, this is the bonus point stage, where you earn 0.1 bonus points per second remaining on the clock.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alright guys, well next up we have another relatively simple stage. For my gear on this one, I'll be using the Harris SPRM bipod and the old trusty Armageddon Gear Schmedium in heavy fill. So for my strategy on this stage, I wanted to just really slow down, take my time, and focus on my fundamentals, because fundamentals are how you're going to clean this particular stage. Now this is the time stage, so if you shoot it quickly, you earn bonus points for doing that. However, you're never going to shoot it fast enough to make up for a single miss. So shoot it quickly, but remember to slow down, focus on your fundamentals. Now the shoot sequence on this is really almost too simple. Where you're going to get tripped up a little bit and where you're going to spend a little bit of time is dialing your parallax. In practicing this stage, you should spend some time dialing your parallax between those 2 targets, so you familiarize yourself with the clockwise and counterclockwise rotation of your parallax knob and what that does to the focus of your targets downrange. Alright, with that one out of the way, let's go ahead and get on to some of the more difficult stages for this month's Course of Fire.
$47.
It's okay.
Next up is opening day. We have a 2-inch at 84 and a 3-inch at 97. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll take a position on top of one of the props and engage far to near with 1 shot each. We'll then change props and engage the targets in the same order. You will continue engaging targets in this sequence, alternating props until 10 shots have been fired or time expires. The use of the tripod as a rear support is optional. If used, it will be fully deployed prior to the clock starting. Restrictions. If using the tripod as optional equipment, the competitor must start with it in hand.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alright guys, it is time to ratchet up the difficulty a little bit. For my gear on the stage, I'll be using the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Schmedium in Heavy Fill, Old Trusty, and the Wee Bad Strapless Behemoth. So for my strategy on this one, I wanted to shoot the bucket 3 times and the sawhorse only twice, and I really didn't feel justified in using the tripod because I felt like it was going to burn too much time trying to situate that thing on the stock of my rifle. So as I approach this stage, I'm going to start with the bucket, break those 2 shots, then I'm going to jump up here to the sawhorse, and I'm going to break those 2 shots from the top of the sawhorse. But in order to do that, I use that strapless behemoth again, building a nice squared up kneeling position on the top of that sawhorse. Then it's back to the bucket. And again, kind of the same thing, using that strapless behemoth to fill the void, give my stock a place to anchor while shooting from the bucket, and then back up to the sawhorse again, rinse and repeat. I don't think that using the tripod really gives you that much of an advantage. In my opinion, I think the stage may have been designed to give you the illusion of the benefit of the tripod. I think it's more of a hindrance than it is a benefit because it's one more piece of gear that you have to manage, and you're already having to transition 5 times on this stage. So adding one more piece of equipment that you have to fumble with just wasn't worth it in my opinion. Now, there's going to be some people out there that feel differently, and I encourage you to try that tripod and see if it works out for you. If you can shoot this stage in under 2 minutes utilizing that tripod, more power to you. With that one out of the way, let's go ahead and jump on to the next one and ratchet up the difficulty one more time.
14.
Next up, we have Turkey Trot Like It's Hot. We have a 2-inch at 77 and a 3-inch at 100. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the far target with 5 shots, using the left or right outside edges on one side of the prop, 1 shot per position. You'll start from the lowest position and work your way up to the highest position you can reach. If you can't reach the 4th or 5th position, then work your way back down until 5 shots have been fired. After the 5th shot, you'll transition to the opposite outside edge and engage the near target with 5 shots in the same manner as the opposite side.
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Shoot ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alright, we're bumping up the difficulty one more time before wrapping this thing up. For my gear on this stage, I'll be using the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Schmedium, and the Wee Bad Strapless Behemoth. So for my strategy on this one, I knew that because I had 10 different positions that I had to build, including 2 prone positions, potentially 4 kneeling positions, and 4 standing positions, I was going to have to haul butt in order to get this done. So I didn't spend a lot of time waiting for that reticle to go still. In fact, many of my shots I took while the reticle was still moving, because building those 10 positions was going to take quite a bit of movement, and movement burns time. I wanted to get down to that prone position, bust that shot, hop up to a kneeling position, and then when I do my 2 kneeling positions, I try not to move too much of my core, just sort of slide my rifle out, slide my rifle back in, get back on my glass, and break the next shot. I did take a little bit of a gamble here. Going to the top of that pyramid was a bit of a stretch for me. I didn't have to tiptoe like I would have to off of the top of the ladder, but it's definitely not as stable as I would like before breaking those shots. And I know some people are probably going to game this a little bit, and instead of going to that top rung, they're actually going to step back down one. In the spirit of sportsmanship, I should just shoot it all the way to the top, even if I was going to have to tiptoe. But transitioning down here to the right side on the bottom and then repeating the shot sequence on the other target, that could trip some people up, because you're shooting at a different target with different dope. So one thing that you should do when shooting this stage is just remember that from one side you're going to shoot the left target, and from the other side you're going to shoot the right target, and the right target is going to be closer to you. With what I feel was the most difficult stage for this month's Course of Fire, let's go ahead and wrap this up with something that I think is not appropriately named.
Clean.
5 seconds left.
I had to haul ass.
Definitely is an advantage of your tall on this one.
Finally, for this month's Course of Fire, we have Gobble Till You Wobble. We have two 2.5-inch targets at 70 yards, spread at a recommended 30 yards apart. We're going to start standing 3 feet behind the prop, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll take a position on the prop and engage the targets in the following fashion. Left target, back to start position. Right target, back to start position. Left target, etc. Start position means standing with rifle and all gear in hand, 3 feet back before stepping forward and establishing the next shooting position. You will continue this pattern for a total of 10 shots or till time expires.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
For the last stage on this month's Course of Fire, I don't really feel like the name of this stage suits the stage. I feel like this should be called like the Thanksgiving Cha-Cha or something like that. Anyway, for my gear on this stage, I'll be using the Harris SBRM bipod, slid all the way up by my magwell, and the old trusty Armageddon Gear Schmedium in heavy fill. This stage is kind of simple on its face. However, the amount of movement that you have to do, breaking and rebuilding positions so many different times, is going to push a lot of shooters, and I think we're going to see quite a few people time out on this one. In order to keep myself under time, what I really had to focus on was quick target acquisition. And the way you do that is kind of one of the fundamentals of this kind of shooting. And that is seeing the target with your eyes and aligning your rifle naturally towards that target before you go to get on your optic, so that way you're not hunting for that target once you're behind your glass. Something else that I recommend you do for this stage is to actually open up the magnification and get a large field of view so you can see a large section. So your crosshairs are going to naturally get smaller if you're shooting a first focal plane scope, but the advantage of seeing so much more of the range at a lower power really is going to help you to find those targets quickly and hopefully keep you under time while completing this stage. Breaking the position and going back 3 feet, I can see that we might have some shooters game this and just kind of do a little shimmy and call that good enough. Maybe put a piece of masking tape or something down 3 feet behind the barrel so that shooters take it seriously and they actually put both feet behind that line. I think that's kind of the spirit of the stage. That Course of Fire wasn't too bad.
That's empty. Clean.
15 seconds left.
I don't like that. All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap for the November 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire. We have a winter storm blowing in. We've got a lot of wind coming over the mountain and some snow pushing in. So we got to get the heck out of here. But you hear that? That is cold pushing over the mountain. Thank you, Richard Rogers from Aurora, Nebraska, for that intriguing Course of Fire. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. And thank you to all the folks out there in the NRL22 community who have donated to our Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. We really do appreciate that. That goes a long way to helping us during these winter months stay warm with a nice hot cup of joe while we're out here. We hope to see you guys on the next one out on the range.